We do take these comments and we're able to look at making improvements, and especially if you have any ideas for future topics, please fill this out and return that as well. And then you have the 2009 of the Remodel Your Lifestyle program, and she's here to inspire others and is going to do our reflection this morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can Waupun hear me okay? They're muted. They're muted. They're good. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I'm loud enough. If not, just let me know and I'll speak a little louder. Usually I don't need a microphone. As Susan said, I am Kathy Geib. I'm a clinical informaticist here at Ignesian. I've been with Ignesian for, well, actually I've been here for 10 years. I came with IBM. I hope to inspire other people to take care of themselves as well. So, So in the beginning, I'm going to tell a little story about how I got here. In the beginning, I'm the oldest girl active in sports, cheerleading and such. I ate whatever my mom made, and I am definitely still part of the Clean Plate Club. I had to learn how to not load my plate so that I couldn't finish it. First job was at McDonald's, despite never eating there. I had never eaten there until I was 16. I never really thought about my weight as a child, and I had a pretty decent self-image. But how did I get here? I was considered obese. My HRAs, I had to do a lot of extra work to try and get my points. I gained 10 pounds with each pregnancy. I had a hysterectomy in my 30s, and any of you that have gone through menopause or had a hysterectomy, you know that the struggle is real. Ran a vending company for 15 years with my husband, so candy and chips were at my door. I switched to an IT career, so I went from a very active career to a rather sedate career in 2007, and then I returned to college in 2013. I love this little one. It says, diagnosed with acute confusion related to sleep deprivation, imbalanced nutrition, and lack of social interaction due to nursing school. So, yeah, a lot of you can relate to that. I had every excuse in the book. My exercise, I just needed to exercise. My diet was pretty good. I had 2 babies and I never lost the baby weight. My kids are in their 30s. I had not always been this out of shape, and I really felt like I could just get back there on my own. And of course, I have to study excuse. Struggles beyond that weight gain. When my daughters were in grade school, I coached volleyball. We had a mother-daughter basketball game, and some mothers lost more than others. I tore my ACL, so I had chronic knee problems. I suffered from depression, and of course with that is the difficulty in concentration. And more recently, I was diagnosed with diabetes and hypertension, and the hypertension really put me over the edge. I have a horrible family history with cancer, and I watched my dad struggle with diabetes to the point where he actually lost an eye. So it is a horrible, horrible disease, and I did not want to go down that same path. So I needed to decide to make that change. My self-esteem was dropping as my weight was rising. And as a nurse, I needed to walk the walk. If I'm going to talk the talk, I need to walk the walk. And as they say, third time is a charm. Twice, I had actually made out my application to remodel your lifestyle, only to chicken out. And I didn't think I was quite there emotionally, because it is definitely an emotional commitment. The timing was perfect. I was done with school. So I had that time that I could devote to the whole program. Why did I select the Remodel Your Lifestyle? First off, it's the people I work with. I've seen the successes of the former or the other graduates. And I spend most of my days with these people. It's really easy to get that extra help. They have a great success record of making those sustainable changes that you can live with. And it does the whole package. P, which balances, it helped me to learn that balance of why was I eating, why was I not exercising, and it also helped me balance my social obligations with the time commitment to remodel your lifestyle. And then they also have the understanding that sometimes, so then I applied, my box is off a little bit, When I applied, one of the first things they ask you is, how ready are you? And they have this wonderful readiness chart with all of these different levels that you can be at. And I was at determination at that point, very determined. I had enough and the diagnoses weren't good, but I just needed that help and that extra support that Remodel Your Lifestyle gives you. The resources of the program are amazing. I had Janelle for my personal trainer. There's 3 of them out there. My dietitian was Janaea Schwartz. She helped me with some of the options for eating healthier. I had Elaine Stessel, that was my EAP coach. She definitely walked me through being able to balance time. And then, of course, my mentor, Rachel Tisdale, who went through it last year. She helped me with a lot of little secrets. And with all of these, I had people that would comment on my blogs. They would send me emails that was so inspiring, and I can't thank you guys enough for the support that you gave me. I had to take it one day at a time. First thing we're going to do is we're going to have those SMART goals. So I had to list my SMART goals, being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. They were, at Janelle's suggestion, was I took a paper plate, and I put in the very center where I was, and I worked my way out that plate, coloring in sections. And each one of these little pie pieces was one of my goals. So I had a lot of goals I wanted to reach. And this one was good because my granddaughters could do it with me. So they got to see my success, and they got to see how important my health was to me. And of course, we had our charting, or we had documentation of what we were doing as far as my weight, my fit tests, all of that kind of stuff. It helped me to stay motivated and keep moving forward. And of course, we had the blogging that I did. Finding exercise that fit, walking was my go-to. It was very time-consuming, but I was really lucky. It was during the spring of the year, summertime. Burned through a couple pair of tennis shoes, but it was well worth it. And then once I had gotten on a really own, for those of you that don't belong to the zone, it is such a wonderful resource for us. For those of you that have those gym memberships somewhere else, sometimes those gyms are really crowded. The zone is so quiet and private and neat and clean, and everything is always walking. I had a couple of hiccups along the way, and I learned that stretching was crucial to my health. My diet changes, I changed snacks to help me meet those requirements of that, the balanced diet. I changed my breakfast to oatmeal with just plain cinnamon and raisins, and that made a huge difference as far as my snacking during the morning. And I skipped the cream in my coffee. That was a hard one for me, but it made a big difference for me also. I did have a few hiccups. I had shin splints right away, and that was where that stretching really came in. I had hip pain about 6 weeks into it, had to go to see Dr. Judkins, but he gave me an adjustment and then also helped me with some very targeted stretches. My weight loss was really, really slow. At first, it was like 2 pounds in the first 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, we're not going to make my goal. We're not going to make the goal. So I contacted my primary care, and she did a TSH, and it came back within range. I just needed to be patient. You know, we become such an immediate society. We don't need to, my program, because of the worry for him, and I should have stuck with it because that would have gotten me through a lot of the stress. So my wonderful start and determination brought me all the way back to the beginning of that pre-contemplation. Am I going to be able to get back on? Well, yes, I am. And the contemplation, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And then determination. So it's been a real process for me. And every time I fall off the wagon, I'm going to have to do this. Results from my journey. My weight, I lost 15 pounds. And for me, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot for me because I was very slow going at first. My BMI, I am no longer obese. That was my huge aha moment. When I went from obese to obese, I went down from 35.2 to 33.9, and I lost 16 and a half inches, just this much, which for me is a lot. So I'm really happy with my results, and if I can inspire anyone, I hope these numbers do that. Picture before, picture after, and the nice part is Ignatian is really good about encouraging you to go out for those walks, the turkey trot, that you can't really count. They're not number related. I have increased energy, which my granddaughters have noticed. They love that. Better mobility. My knee, I use that as a gauge now. If I've been sitting too much at my desk, get up, move around. I don't have the pain. I sleep sounder. Oh, that's wonderful. I love sleeping sounder. No more hot flashes for you women that know what that's all about. And my happiness is now coming from within. I was putting on a great face before the program, and now I can honestly say that I'm like happy within too. Thanks for all that you do for the wellness coaches. They are fantastic. They're committed to make sure that you have all the tools you need for better health. They tailor the program to fit each person. Each person is very different, and everybody learns. And I was surprised even in our group of this Remodel Your Lifestyle when we met for lunch one day. The different tools we were all using, very, very different. One of them was more diet focused. One of them was more learning about why they ate. But I do hope that sharing this journey with you today will make you think about your own health. Does anybody have any questions?
I just want to thank the applications for RYL 2019 will be available in January. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me or one of the other wellness coordinators.
Well done, Kathy. So, on to social media. Social media provides people with more access to information that they've ever had before, as well as quicker for us, or is it bad for us, and why? I am delighted today to have Steve Little with us as he shares his thoughts on the impact, both good and bad, of social media and how it affects us individually.
I don't know what to say. I have to tell you, Puddle Mud, good call. I appreciate that. It's great to see you all, many familiar faces. If not, I know most of you by name, worked along your side. This is where I spent the longest part of my career ever. This is the longest I'd ever been anywhere. I was in Jackson Hole 13 years and 16 here. So I can't tell you how much respect I have for all of you and what we do here. And this program is just one example of probably hundreds of the great things that Ignition Healthcare is about. And I am so proud. I had nothing to do with the program other than, okay, I got a call yet, and I please don't take this with a grain of salt. I got a call yesterday from Dean Health Plan for programs, right, Sue? I'm like, well, what? We've been doing this for 10 years, so just keep doing what you're doing, all right? Kathy, I've known you since the day you started here. You hid that really well, and I really appreciate it because you remember what I told you all about 6 or 7 years ago? I don't care what's going on in your own lives. Our patients don't care. You better show up with a smile, be positive, and be happy. And you did that really, really well, girl, because every time I saw you, you were just the most pleasant person. I had no idea. I can't tell you what an inspiration you are to us yesterday when we drove up. She wanted to hear this. Yeah, she doesn't really care to hear from me because she gets that all every day. But she's here because this is an inspiration to her to keep going on in her journey. Because trust me, you're not done. This is forever. Gretchen? Who's Kathy's mom? Anybody know Carol from OB?
Yes.
Oh boy. I'll never forget the time, and this isn't about, and I'm like, great to see you too. What's your name? Carol? And now Carol and I have become very close, so to speak. And does anybody know why we're so close?
No idea.
That's a great point. We speak with me. No, Carol drives a 1971 Buick Roadmaster Woody wagon, right?
She's a Butte Clark.
Unbelievable classic lady. I mean, just so we have that in common, right? We both drive Woody wagons. So, anyways. All right.
That was my first car.
She still has it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We tried to convert her.
No.
She's upgraded a few times. I think she's got like a 97 now. I think. They don't make them anymore. That's the problem.
No kidding. Cerise.
But it's got a Corvette engine.
Anyways, good stuff. All right. So I'll remind you, why do I do these things? Why? So December is our month to talk about wellness for us, all right? And so we've talked about physical health and spiritual health and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, what's it going to be this year? All right, let me preface this conversation by, I always do these. I approach these in a way because I got the same problems as you do, and this is for me just as much as it is for you. And I am not even close to being an expert in this field at all. It's just something I'm passionate about, which I think is affecting humans' well-being in today's society, and I'm concerned about it. So I wanted to have a conversation. This is an interactive session, so get ready to speak. Got it? Good. So with that said, what's this about? All right? Colleen, what's up?
I don't know what
Okay, so Sue gave a little bit of an introduction here. So I looked it up in the old Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Anybody got the hard copy of that still on their shelf? Tammy, you're aging yourself.
Yeah.
She didn't say she uses it.
Yeah, so,
I have them all.
I didn't Google it. I actually went to the Merriam-Webster site, all right? So you didn't get the Wikipedia thing. And so you can read this. Webster defines social media as forms of electronic communication, such as websites for social networking and microblogging, through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content, such as videos. So what's that? How many people in this room have a Facebook account? Right, come on. Holy buckets. You know who doesn't have a Facebook account? Amen, brother. Way to go, Barbara. You and I always think alike. I don't have one because I don't want, so I'll leave it at that. What's that?
YouTube.
Yeah, I do use YouTube. I use, by the way, I cut the cord on cable because I got tired of paying them gazillions of dollars. I encourage you all to think about it and look at it. So I use YouTube TV now, and it's great. I can get it on my phone. I can get it wherever I'm at. I can get it, right? And you pay $40 a month. It's awesome. Think about it. What's that? That's so disappointing.
Snapchat.
Who snaps in the room? My kids do. Who's never snapped in the room? Show of hands. That's pretty interesting. It seems to be us that have been around a little bit longer.
Thank you.
What?
We learn from our peers.
Yeah.
Twitter. Personally, by the way, all this has very little substantiation, so on. It's my opinion, all right? So take it for what it's worth. You and I can agree to disagree. I think this has probably been one of the single largest issues in our country because of this knucklehead president. I'm a Republican. You guys know that? Okay, I did not vote for Donald Trump. He abuses this to the point where, me too, it's the only one I participate in. Okay, I think it does have some valuable things on it. It can help you from a career perspective. If you're looking for a job, it helps. Not that I am, but maybe. What's that? Yeah, that's not bad. We actually have Skype for Business, right? And I think it's been a because I know it's there, and I know my kids use it, but I've never used it. I think Kelly, you got an account, don't you? Oh, whatever, you're lying. But it actually, I think, is probably one of the better ones. Who has an Instagram account? Quite a few. Logan, you don't have an Instagram account?
No, I don't.
That's surprise. I can't believe that. You and Pitts need to get together and maybe because you can get him on Pinterest and vice versa. Oh, I went too fast. Okay, this is my favorite. It's really not a social media. It's just an app, site, and so on. Okay, and please keep this within reason. It's bad, all right? But it is the one I frequent most. Anybody know what it is?
Barstool.
What?
Barstool.com.
Barstool Sports. Okay, It's bad. I'm
It
just
is
saying.
bad. It is bad. It is bad.
But it's hilarious,
Yes.
and I don't look at all of it. But when I do look at how many hockey, I don't know how many hockey fans in this crowd. Oh, we got hockey fans. They have a podcast on there called Spit and Chicklets, and so you know what a chiclet is. You know what a chiclet piece of gum. Well, that's what us hockey players refer to as when you spit a chiclet. That means when you got a tooth knocked out in the game, a fight, a stick, a puck, whatever it means. And it's two ex-pro guys that had pretty decent careers, and then this really funny guy from Boston. But anyways, it's my favorite social media so-called site. I do not interact with them. I just listen. Right? So here's reality. Okay? I mean, it's endless, right? It is absolutely endless. By the way, just a test. What's that? Have a clue? What's that? What's that?
Other countries.
All right, good. That impresses me that you might be moderating yourself. Right? We have 4.2 billion of that 7.6 billion that use the internet on a frequent basis. Where have we gone, Mary? Okay, of that 7.6 billion, about half, not quite half, of our worldwide population is active in social media. That is stunning to me. Think about this. About 7 years ago, it didn't exist, or it was in its infancy. That shock you?
Yeah.
Think that's high or low?
I think it's low.
Probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. Is that the bulk, the majority of our population now is aging, and people come across there of which we've dealt with, both from a human resource standpoint, et cetera. I think some of you can relate to those, and we don't need to get deep into that. And then this is what absolutely, by the way, Brandwatch 2018 is my source for this information. Again, how accurate it is, I believe it's relatively accurate. But what? Group chat.
Well, like you put teams together, like my son's baseball team.
Yeah.
All the parents get on one, and then you can say game starts at 5, have the kids there.
There's 60 million messages a day that come across just those two apps.
Yeah.
All right, so this list goes on and on and on and on and on, right? So I'll get to this. LinkedIn has 562 million users. MySpace 15. Twitter 326 million. WhatsApp 900 million. YouTube 1.5 billion users. And so on and so on. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me. All this stuff. Google processes 100 billion searches a month. That's an average of 40,000 search queries every second. Huh? Google has answered 450 billion unique queries since 2003. 60% of the Google searches come from mobile devices. I mean, it's on and on and on and on. Half the internet users who do not have a Facebook themselves live with someone who does. That's applicable. I mean, it's just... Snapchat has 870 million active users. 60% of them are... Oh, this is a good one. 60% of them are under age 25. Who's looking at their phones right now? Don't. Average user spends 25 minutes a day on Snapchat. 78% of Americans 18 to 24 are greater than 50,000. I mean, there are some, and I want you guys to argue with me. I want you to say, here's something else. But certainly affordability, right? So I could read it walking out of the YMCA on the way by. Patrick Shupi didn't stop me. I'm like, oh. So we got the paper for, I don't know, a couple years, and then I'm like, oh, this is absolutely a waste of whatever. What is it, $20 a month or something? and you can get everything right on your phone. I mean, everything I need to know. And so, the affordability is, we get all this information, all right? So, right? I mean, I bet you right now, maybe. Yeah. The NHL network, Bassie's sensational, I get all this stuff, we get all this stuff pushed to us, right? Jane. And I look at it and it's like NHL, so you look at old time, but look at that bad boy, what's going on? Come on. So, this is my term. Social interactions for socially awkward people. Huh? Bless you, who's not? Yeah. Come on. Chips and so on. And this has allowed them to do that. That's our local law enforcement and FBI, etc. They use this extensively. I mean, what's the first thing they want when we have? Because it tells all. Keep that in mind, by the way. Keep that in mind. That's a fact. I mean, for us to elect that bozo, sorry, you Trump lovers, is that this social media was a huge part of that, right? I think the social media was a huge part of getting Tony Evers elected too, because it reached people that hadn't voted in prior elections to get out and vote. Now we have a Democratic government. So it's massive in this space. So here we go. So the benefit list was relatively short in my opinion, but meaningful. We all use it. It's important to our lives. I think it's given us more information. It's how we use that information, in my opinion, that's an issue. Anybody have any experience with this?
Yeah.
Horrible.
It's terrible. They can't leave school. They can't just leave it at school like you did when you were.
We got to figure this out. Yeah, Tammy said it's worse when the parents get involved. Huh? Yeah? Online consumes your offline. So you're online more than you are offline. And I'm going to say it once, I'm going to say it for the things that allow you to lead a more effective and well life and eliminate the other things. Again, I'm saying that for my own personal well-being. I'm no better than you at this. I do not have it figured out, okay? But I think we need to think about that. It leads to distraction and procrastination. Absolutely, 100%. I tell you, I'm trying to get better in meetings where I'm not distracted by my phone, other than my 82-year-old mother calling me with some health issue, or my wife, barking out some order that I need to take care of. That's not true. It's usually the other way around. I'm usually barking the orders out. The conferences that we go to, it blows me away. So you got somebody there, it's high-powered, intelligent person giving a presentation, not me. I'm not saying about me, so you can get on your phones. And half the people in the room aren't even paying attention. I personally find that disrespectful. Mike's here. Barb's here. Anybody? And I actually said to some of the young executives, we have weekly, we did have ones in marketing, and one's the president of the hospital, St. Agnes Hospital. They're totally consumed, but they got their phones going, they got the computer going, and we're talking about a interesting subject. It happened a bunch of times, but I never enforced the 50 push-up rule because I just didn't want to see Mike DeGear fall in his face. Probably the one guy that could so he could have exercise during the meeting. He's got like 1.0067% body fat. This is huge. Kathy Guy.
It is.
Especially in your world of IT where you're constantly pounding on the computer, et cetera. Hey, that's not to mention, okay, so we got 116 minutes of social media time, computers to do our work. Not to mention the time we spend looking at the TV, et cetera. I think that's a problem in our society. All right, if there's one thing you've got to commit to me today, is that if you're taking your cell phone in your bedroom, which I think we all do, I use it as my alarm clock, and you're actually physically lying in bed and reading social media off your phone, stop it. There's great studies on science about how that impairs your sleep, all right? And none of us, and I'm as guilty as anybody, get the proper sleep typically, because there's all these things in our lives, right? So don't let this be another distraction in that. Damn it. Do not hop on your phone. You just was mindlessly browsing, to see, what so-and-so did down the road for their Thanksgiving vacation. Nonsense, right? And then it really affects us being anonymous, right? And I think, for me, impacted in a lot of different ways, right? Oh, yeah? I'm guilty. I drive a lot now, right? I'm constantly on the road. Oh, you're addicted. I mean, oh God, what's going on in this? What's the stock market doing? What's blah blah blah, right? And it's even a detriment to the people you're serving at Indonesian healthcare. So I can guarantee you, me included, we've all spent time doing things in social media or looking at things that is distracting us from the work that we're supposed to be getting done. Now, there's a flip side to that, which I agree with, by the way, and that is we could say none of that at Indonesian Healthcare. Don't. Okay? And I think it would be more to our detriment. So what was the situation here 4 or 5 years ago where I don't think we allowed we restricted access to Facebook, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because people were spending too much time on Facebook and it was distracting them from their real work, and then we were paying people to post pictures of their Thanksgiving vacation on Facebook, and we said no. And then we rethought that and said, wait a minute, if people have access during the day to it, it's probably going to be more to the betterment of them and their well-being than it is restricting them. And I agree with that. So I think we're never going to restrict you on these. I mean, it would be counterproductive. It's just that you and I have to be a little bit more disciplined. But it is incredibly important, isn't it? What? Marriott just had, some Russian hackers, and so some of this is, personally, I don't really care. Fine, this gets back to the cyberbullying and so forth. And this piece is probably the most disgusting to me of all, is that people that don't have a spine to come to you at Jane, was it something I said? Then you shouldn't say it electronically. And that harassment piece of it, the cyberbullying piece of it, is disgusting to me. Okay? Come on, do better. Okay? I know you don't like things, but if you've got something critical to say or negative to say, I'll come and not some fist fight. And why does social media create depression?
Everybody else's life is better than yours.
Amen, Michelle. Because do you think Michelle posted that picture of herself this morning at 6:15 when she ran out in her jammies to feed the dog with Michael Jordan and Brett Favre under her arm, right? And so that's the deal. Everybody posts. You're not going to post a crappy picture. You're going to post something that's glamorous about you, which may or may not be true. And then everybody's going to think, oh my God, Jovina, the closest to me, which is none of you other than my wife, FOMO. Mary, you know what that is? Fear of drink. And it's way past my bedtime, way too much to drink. I'm going to bed. But who has to stay up? Three, you know what that is. And so that's an issue for us. We got to get through that. So, a couple tidbits for you. Back to the depression thing. Don't compare yourselves. Try to refrain from constantly going, oh, there's Joanne Gable. Look at her and her kids, and God, wow, I'll never have that. And you go, oh yeah, that was bad. You get depressed. So don't compare yourselves to others on social media. Look at it for what it's worth. Be grateful that you can share the experience. Gratitude is one of those things that's important to me. People in this room, they know this stuff. I don't, but that's my impression of it. All right. Just say I'm right, Joe.
You're right.
Okay. Not 116 minutes, 60 minutes or less to that time. And that's it. I can tell you right now, there is no way I'm going to abide by that one. Something to strive for, though, right? 60 minutes. Ooh, tech soul in this room? Interesting. Minutes or less. Figure out when you want to do your social bond. How disrespectful. Yeah, absolutely, Tammy. Okay, so that's the thing that kills me in restaurants is you're there to enjoy friends and fellowship and company and have a wonderful meal, and everybody's like this. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times Kelly and I have been out and we just look around and we're like, look, right reasons and a purpose rather than just mindless activities. I do it, text message, whatever. If you really care about the person, dial their number and talk to them. Call them. Well, you set the ground rules. You're still their mother.
Oh, they don't live with me.
Well, hey, once a mom pick up the phone, or something bad's going to happen to you.
Gary doesn't answer the phone either. It was on silent.
Got it. Call, right? All right, so something's bothering you, and it's like, oh, I just can't take it anymore. Delete the app. Then you're going to have what? FOMO. Oh my God, I miss out. Blah, blah, blah. Trust me, I think your life is going to be richer with all those apps on it. Remove them. Okay? If you're not using it, it's causing you stress and anger and anxiety and making you less healthy. Get it off your phone. You'll be better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Don't stoke the fire. You see this nasty comment, let's just use Ignition Healthcare. I was in the women and infants area and their nurses suck. And you're a nurse in OB and you guys deliver awesome care. And you want to just blast that person that said that, right? Don't feed those trolls. Because that's what they are. It's gonna end nowhere, right? Trust me. I have a lot of irrational patients, right? It's just you can't say anything. Kristen, huh? You deal with them on a daily basis, girl. You can never say anything. So just don't. Same thing. So think about that one. What's it?
Oh, I'm checking my stats for fantasy football.
Seriously, dude?
Well, 4 in the morning. That's somewhat tolerable.
Yeah.
All right. Before the HR department wheels me out of here, I typically don't have a lot of problems. So here's some more for you. And there's some days, come on, you got stuff going on at work, you got to pay attention. I get that. But there are some days where, my best rounds of golf, So try that, please, all right? Come on. Or, you guys have seen, yeah, I know you've all seen this on social media, of course. When you go out to dine with people, everybody puts their phone in the middle of the table. First one that grabs their phone pays the bill.
Oh, that's smart.
That's a good one.
Yeah, try that one out. Remember, who said this? Yo, brother. Sister Mary Mollison, words matter, Stephen. I'll never forget it. Ever. Ever. That lady is something else. Okay, be careful. I said this before, this is where I was getting to this a little out of order on my slides. Compare your cell phone. Don't allow people to access your stuff that you don't trust. It's going to end up in a bad place, all right? I am totally guilty of this. Just sitting there and you're like, yeah, well, I got 15 minutes here, Jeff. Did I needed to missile plans? Did I really need to know that? Think about it, okay? I'm just giving you some things to think about. So, better yet, paper that you can take with you or no? Okay. Put on that piece of paper one thing that you want to do. This isn't a New Year's resolution. I hate those. This is just today. You're going to commit to yourself. There's one thing that you're going to do. Come on. One thing. I'll tell you what mine is. Since I moved to Madison and I get up at 5 in the morning. One person? You can't. You're too... It's your world. Anybody? Gretchen. All that. Thank you. A lot of money.